Years ago, there was a dream to create a Samoritz in the highlands. They chose Aviemore, and what was a sleepy highland village was transformed. It was a makeover that never quite went all the way, but the number of folk calling the village home has grown steadily. Highlanders getting along with those who came for a day and chose to stay.
I mean, for me, it was a perfect place to grow up. There's so many sort of sporting things you can do.
The man known locally as the Highlander has just earned a reputation for himself 5,000 miles from Aviemore. The media spotlight was turned on the village when Olympic medalist Alan Baxter came home to a hero's welcome at a street party the likes of which this village has never seen. At this point, nobody could have predicted that the euphoria surrounding his return would turn to despair. 3 weeks later, Alan's medal was taken away by the International Olympic Committee after failing a post-race drug test. People here are used to disappointment. Plans for a promised redevelopment of the village have been around for a long time, but nobody seems to know when or even if it's due to start.
I used to be the eternal optimist, but even I'm a little sceptical about the redevelopment these days. So there's mixed feelings. I think all of us really want to see it happen. We really do want to see the bulldozers come in and at least make a start, because then we'll know it's happening and it really does need to happen.
This is the site of the once prosperous Aviemore Centre, which attracted international stars, tourists and locals alike. It had a swimming pool, cinema and championship ice rink. But in spite of its popularity, it was starved of cash by successive owners and fell into disrepair. In the late 90s, most of the site was bulldozed.
It was a little slice of Samoritz or Austria in the highlands. I can remember 20, 30 years ago when it actually did, you know, it was thriving. There was a tremendous atmosphere that existed, and for a variety of reasons that, you know, that kind of dream became a little distorted, and there hasn't been investment in the centre in recent years. But the very purpose for why people came here is still there, and it's stronger than ever before. And the facilities are that. Look around you. You know, that's what people come for.
The importance of this area has now been recognised at a national level. Next year we'll see the creation of the Cairngorm National Park. The future is looking brighter, but 40 years ago, when Aviemore was first conceived as Scotland's premier mountain resort, perhaps a golden opportunity was missed to create something special and enduring. I love this idea that it was supposed to be the Samoritz of the Highlands.
On a good day, it still is.
It's maybe a matter of opinion.
Well, I've been to St Moritz. It's, yes, it's very nice. They get the weather, but when we get good weather and when the snow covers there, it's very good.
Clive Freshwater was amongst the influx of people arriving in Aviemore in the early 60s. He came to instruct climbing and kayaking at Glenmore Lodge, and 7 years later set up his own water sports centre on Loughinch. In the early days when Aviemore was first being developed, it must have been a bit like the gold rush in the Yukon. Lots of people trying to get in there and get rich quick.
I don't know that they wanted to get rich quick, but they wanted to get into Aviemore. But I would describe it, and I do describe it, as the Klondike era in the early 60s. People coming in, doing the development, and it took off. A lot of hard work, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people with vision, and that's what really got it up and running. Some Scottish Sports Council ex-colleagues, sadly now deceased, wrote a very topical monologue to the Robert Service Dangerous Dan McGrew, was about this high north trail and the men who moil for gold. Where the blizzard blows over these frozen snows, it'll make your blood run cold. And give her the makings and sit over there, and a couple of shots of the blend will help us to get the picture of where this A9 grade has its end. Well, go down it, pards, it's closing time, and I'll see you in a year and tell you some more of this dandy story, seeing as we're getting slung out of here. And thanks for your hospitality and for all them shots of blend. And sitting and patiently listening to a story that has no end. For there are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold, the Arctic trails of their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, so give your guns a hitch, get your backs to the sky, but keep an eye on the men who strike it rich. Good story.
It might be a good story, but 30 years on, it still offers good advice. Local opinion is divided on the merits of those who come to strike it rich.
We don't want Richard Branson up here, for instance, and a couple of years ago, that's what oh, Branson's coming up. We don't want that man up here. Like,
yeah, but
you know.
They forgot to pick him up at the airport. Thank God. Richard Branson played an interest in coming to Aviemore Mountain Resort 5 years ago, and they originally said, listen,
Wouldn't have been a good thing.
AMR, or the Aviemore Centre, is falling to pieces. Richard Branson booked a flight and flew to Inverness. Aviemore Mountain Resort forgot to send a chauffeur to pick him up. And obviously, if Richard Branson had come here, like the place, Aviemore would be Aviemore, the virgin town. Contradiction in itself. They forgot to pick him up, he pissed off and bought a train and an airline. You know what I mean? Look at the money you would have had to input in this place right now.
No, it would have been bad.
No, it would have
No, it would have been bad.
Yeah,
Bad.
Dinner table tittle-tattle maybe, but these folks are agreed on the need for change.
And as well, it may cosmetically look quite grim in Aviemore. There isn't a focus, and it does need to be redeveloped and have a bit of a cash injection. But I think involving the local community is the only way to go.
Cosmetically, Aviemore looks bad, but underneath it's great. Yeah, we might be able to tie our buildings up. It's still a great place. It's the one village, with it probably in the highlands around here, that there's no animosity to anyone.
So Aviemore's got a good heart.
Yeah, big style.
There's the group of us are trying to get funding for a skate park, and the council are being very supportive behind us, and hopefully we'll get a bit of land and hopefully get funding to build a concrete skate park.
How much money
plus
do you need?
Plus a bike track.
Yeah.
And
how much?
$250,000 is what
$250,000.
We could build a world-class skate park in Aviemore, which would boost local yes, well done, David. Enterprises and draw professional skaters from all over the world to come and skate our park if it was world-class.
Are this lot typical of the youth of Aviemore, do you think?
We are the
youth. You just gone way up in my estimation.
I typical Aviemore youth. I'm not even Scottish.
But most of the people around this table have been drawn to Aviemore for the same reason.
If I didn't live here and I didn't snowboard, there probably would be no reason for me to come here.
Like yourself, G, how did you end up here? Is it going to be a long story?
No, I was watching telly one night and seen snowboarding on the telly and went, I'm going to go and learn that. So I came up to Aviemore for the weekend and got a job that night, stayed 8 years, still here.
I'm kind of different from everyone else because I wasn't a skater before I started snowboarding, I was a surfer. And a winter mountaineer as well. And I've been doing it for what?
Was it way down for you?
Yeah, it was, yeah. It was, yeah. Straight to the car, extreme. But no, there's been a few good days. I mean, I don't suppose many people boarded down Ben Nevis.
So it's just about getting away from people, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm damned if I'm going to stand in a queue on a Sunday afternoon when I stand in it in Tesco's on a Monday night, you know?
One of the things I was going to say is you can't help but notice in this place that there's a lot more guys than girls.
Hell yeah.
If there was a shortage in women in Aviemore, we wouldn't be here. Who's getting the beer in? Yeah. I've got to go to work soon. Like, I should be at work half an hour.
Look at the sun coming up today, Jade. It's beautiful, and the mountains look pretty. It's coming back from Australia, isn't it? That's where it went last night.
Born in Australia, Samantha Bain arrived in Aviemore 10 years ago when her parents decided to return home to Scotland. After her daughter Jade was born, she split from her partner, but agreed to stay in the area to allow him access to Jade.
My parents live close to me, and you know, they take Jade a couple of times a week and that, but it's a shit life, basically, being a single mum, eh?
Not easy.
No, I would not recommend it to anybody.
Becoming a single mum has left Samantha short of cash and has restricted her lifestyle. But recently she started work at the Cairngorm Ski Centre.
It's the first full-time job I've had, and I'm enjoying the money, you know, but I don't expect to be working for somebody else for the rest of my life. In the next few years I'd like to open my own business, perhaps in the catering industry.
In the Aviemore area?
Yeah, definitely. It is a special place, and it's got a lot of potential, and I have the feeling now there's a bit of an atmosphere about the place that things are starting to happen a bit more now, you know?
It's a fantastic playground, isn't it, if you're into the outdoors?
Mm-hmm. Everyone should be too. I'm really going to encourage Jade to get into it too, when she's a little bit older.
Well, the mountain looks not too bad today, but boy, is it windy.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame, because it looks beautiful apart from that.
Yeah. Think of Aviemore and most people think of skiing. It's the sport which put the village on the map. But on a day like today, when the conditions are absolutely horrendous and the mountain is closed, it's no wonder they say that if you can ski Cairngorm, you can ski anywhere.
Outdoor pursuits in Scotland are always going to be subject to the vagaries of the weather. Still, it means that business in the Day Lodge restaurant is brisk as skiers sit it out to find out if the slopes will open today. But every cloud has a silver lining, and it gave me a chance to take my skis for a service. At just 24 years old, some might think that Wendy Sylvester is a bit young to be in charge of the workshop.
A few guys actually walk away because they thought of a young girl servicing the skis is too much for them. But generally though, I think that the results show in the product that they get back, so they're generally quite impressed, and they do come back time and time again, so I can't be doing that much wrong at the end of the day. A few years ago, everybody said that Aviemore was dead because the centre closed, but I think in a way Aviemore has gone on without the centre now. I think the funicular was the first big step, to me anyway, and the second big step will be the national park. And it'll open jobs to hopefully people like myself during the summer seasons. Things like rangering, maybe mountain guiding, something within the actual building itself, catering. It'd be good to have permanent all-year-round employment.
The new funicular railway has the advantage of being able to continue taking people up the mountain when high winds mean that the ski tows are closed.
As we can see outside, it's not much is happening due to bad weather. This happens quite a bit, but we do have blue skies and sunshine some days. They're the best days. The snow will fall, then we have a big melt, and then it comes back again. At the end of the day, we make the most of what we get, and we enjoy what we do. So we keep on doing it, and we keep coming back, and everyone else does, and we make the most of it.
Making the most of it on a day like this means that after skiing down the run, more traditional methods of getting back up the piste are required.
Are you ready, Boots? Start walking!
But hopeful skiers have driven up to Cairngorm from far and near. Given the choice of limited skiing or none at all, many decide to brave the elements. Numbers on the piste are fairly equally divided between skiers and snowboarders. Part of the hillside has now been given over to the boarders to create jumps. Andy Laird has been battling with the elements over the last few days to prepare for a forthcoming event.
You know, it's been a big storm over the last couple of days, so they've got a lot more work to do, a lot more priorities. So what I've done today is I've set up the flat bar rail and the rainbow rail just for people to come down. It still needs a bit of work, but we don't have a lot of time today to do it. You do a lot of work, and then the next day you can come up and it can all be totally different. But this is Scotland, it's Aviemore, it's the way it goes, it's the weather, you can't guarantee it.
Even the best forecasts are no guarantee of how the weather is going to behave. One of the biggest hazards to winter sports enthusiasts away from the piste is the threat of avalanche.
There are an awful lot of avalanches, often triggered by people not realising, the safety of the slope. So we give out this information so that people can have a look at it before they go out, and they can see what's a safe area and what isn't.
Kathy Grindrod works for the Avalanche Information Service. Although she's based in the Lake District, she's spent the last 10 winters here because of her love of the mountains. Her job requires time spent on the hill and in the office.
The first thing we do when we come in the morning is we download the computer to the summit station on Cairngorm, and then we print off this graph that you can see here, and it tells us the temperatures, the wind speeds overnight and the wind direction, and that's very important information for us before we go out, so we know where to go. And what we do is we go to the slope, which is the opposite from the wind direction.
But for Kathy, it's always refreshing to get out of the office.
We like to go to an area where the new snow's landed, which we call slab quite often because it gets carried on the wind. So say if it's a northerly wind, we try and go to a southerly aspect, and then we'll dig a hole in the snow, have a look at all the different layers, and try and work out how stable or unstable the slope is.
As night falls on the mountain, the piste bashers continue with their work high up on the slopes, and the last of the climbers and skiers make their way back down. Scotland's National Outdoor Centre, Glenmore Lodge at the base of the mountain, is perfectly positioned for the 38 different outdoor sports available between Aviemore and Cairngorm. Tonight, the facilities here are being put to good use, not just on the indoor climbing walls, but in the restaurant, as the great and the good of outdoor sports gather at a surprise party for the return of yet another Olympic athlete.
Mike thinks that he's coming up to have dinner with Matt and Ali. And Matt, of course, has been very proud of his kitchen. He wants to show Mike the new carpet that's just been fitted there. So if all's going to plan, Mike will walk through the door expecting to see a new carpet.
Mike Dixon is a biathlete competing in more Olympic Games than any other athlete, a total of 6 times. Aviemore has seen the return of a second local Olympian in almost as many days. Not bad for a Highland village.
This past few days, Scotland, Great Britain and indeed Speyside have experienced a tremendous surge of enthusiasm and a feel-good factor which I don't think we've actually ever seen the like around here.
We have some, world-class Olympic athletes who were born and brought up in this area. In fact, 4 local athletes went to Salt Lake City to represent Great Britain, and all children of skiing and outdoor families. So that the dream that the parents had, the move that they made to this area in the 50s and the 60s, has that perhaps their ambitions have been born through their children.
Whether the dream is to compete with the world's best or simply to enjoy the local environment, the reason so many people come to this area is because of a love of the landscape and for easy access to the mountains.
you get...
Working for the avalanche service isn't the only reason for Kathy Grindrod to go into the mountains. She also comes here on her days off.
It's quite hard, Kathy. It's not bad, really. Pretty frozen.
Kathy is a mad keen climber and, like many others, has made a deliberate lifestyle choice to live near the mountains.
Please don't let the rope tangle. Granny's knitting, I think.
Well, it's a place that I enjoy living because there's a lot of people who are interested in the same things as I am, and there's easy access to the activities I enjoy.
Alan Fife has climbed all over the world, from the Alps to the Himalayas, including 2 expeditions to Everest, yet he still chooses to live in Aviemore.
Most of the people involved in the provision of outdoor instruction and the like have come from outside, have come from different areas and moved to Aviemore because of the opportunities.
It's lovely. Looks good
Good
fun.
Neve.
Yeah, excellent. She's off up that like a rat up a drain pipe. Do you think maybe we could get more locals involved?
I think it would be great if more were involved, but it's not something that you can, you've got to be keen on it to do it for its own sake before you should consider doing it as a job. So if you don't like it, you don't like weather like this, forget it.
Kathy is one of those people who doesn't let bad weather bother her. We've been climbing together for a couple of years. She's just a girl who can't say no to a day out in the mountains. In spite of the conditions, there must be well over 100 people in this corrie today, an indication of the attraction of the area. After a day out in weather like this, all you want to do is curl up by the fire after a hot bath. No chance.
So, Saturday night in Aviemore then? Yeah. This place is pretty busy, isn't it?
Despite a hard day on the hill, I get the feeling that I'm in for an even harder night in the pub.
Oh, this is a place to hang out, is it?
Yeah, definitely. This is where we mostly come anyway.
Stroma is a born and bred local. Wendy came from Aberdeen originally, and Tracy came over from Australia for the season last winter. This year she brought her friend Sophia.
What do you lot make of the Aussies moving into town?
Well, I think it's good. It's a nice change from the norm. I mean, there's always been like a real mix of locals and travelling people, and I think that's what makes Aviemore such good fun, though. You know, because it's like people come and people go and stuff. You know, and it's what makes a good party atmosphere. I mean, like you said, Tracy, that's her second season back and stuff. You know, and it's really good to see them back again.
What about you, Stroma?
I work all year round. I supervise the uplift department, which is the lifts and tows and the connection.
So you're at Cairngorm as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you are.
I'm at Cairngorm as well, yeah.
That's how we know each other.
I always like to say I've got 34 men under me.
34 men? Sounds like playing with fire, but then these girls are used to that.
Don't be put off by the old image. I would say come along and have a look, because things have changed now and there's quite a excitement in the village, you know, and everybody's feeling quite positive about things. There's a real energy here, and I think that it will just go on to better things, and these memories will be a thing of the past.
The dream of a Scottish St Moritz may be dead, but this is still a Highland village which has produced 4 current British Olympic athletes. The euphoria which greeted Alan Baxter's success on the slopes of Salt Lake City may be tarnished. They may have taken the Highlanders' medal, but they will never take the memory of his homecoming away from Aviemore.
I'm a village boy, you know. I see myself settling down here.
Its setting on the edge of one of the most spectacular wilderness areas in the country will continue to be a magnet for people near and far. If they stay long enough, they too might discover the charm beneath the faded facade of a Highland holiday resort.
Here we go again.
The spirit here just now is extremely well. It's healthy. We're looking forward to the future.
I think this area will grow in importance and prominence. What exactly the difference in National Park is going to mean, I'm not sure. But if it protects this area and the cairngorms and the environment, that's all to the good, I think.
I just don't know how you guys take the pace. How many nights a week are you out?
Most of them. Well, you're only young ones, aren't you? You're a long time there.
Everyone's up here to enjoy themselves, and you know, it's just a good community spirit.
I'm totally up for the redevelopment of Aviemore. I mean, I'd love to see the return of the swimming pool, the cinema, the ice rink, sports facilities, conference centres. All these things are going to bring people back to Aviemore.
So, Aviemore, Highland Village, outdoor playground and cosmopolitan community. Whatever happens with regard to the regeneration of the village itself, one thing's for sure, it will be at the heart of the new Cairngorm National Park. Visitors will continue to arrive in their droves and no doubt more than a few will choose to stay.
If we here can make Aviemore work, not the big companies with all the money, but if we can get it going ourselves here, local businesses, local people, this place would be fantastic.
From the Piste to the Fairway, US Masters Golf is next on BBC Two Scotland, then continuing on BBC One Scotland from 10:30.